Okay.
So, Muppets in Space.
Muppets from Space, in fact.
That was a thing that I've never seen before. Well, that's not true. I saw it when I was a kid, but I don't think I watched it all the way through.
I had never watched it before, so.
Yeah, and now I've seen it.
Okay, shall we do the thing?
Yeah, let's do it.
Hi, friends.
Salutations.
I'm Sara Ezzat. I make the Fat Culture Critic videos on YouTube.
And I'm Ren the Barbarian.
And this is not Muppet Sex and Trauma.
Mm-hmm.
This is a filler episode with Muppets from Space.
A total change of pace from what we normally do on this channel.
Well, yeah, we needed some filler episodes for reasons. And I thought I'd do Farscape adjacent stuff. And if anybody wants to suggest other Farscape adjacent ideas, things that involve one of the cast or one of the directors or anything or something thematically connected, then I'm going to do a bunch of these with various friends, and Ren has volunteered to be the first victim. And the most logical place to start with the not Muppet Sex and Trauma was with Muppets from Space. Which
it had a little trauma and possibly a little sex. if we're to judge anything with the Animal and Kathy Griffin.
Yeah, that was a thing that happened.
Love is love.
Muppets from Space was written by Jerry Jewell, Joseph Maraziano, and Ken Kaufman, and it was directed by Tim Hill. Gonzo is having anxiety dreams about being the only one of his kind. He's feeling lonely despite living in a whole house of Muppets who do dance numbers to funk songs. That morning, he sees a message in his cereal telling him to watch the sky and asking, "Are you there?" That night, he goes to the roof to skywatch and is hit by lightning, sending him into a dream space where he meets cosmic fish with very racist accents. On instruction from the racist accent fish, he mows the lawn with the words, "I am here." This brings him to the attention of the Totally Not the FBI, whose leader, K. Edgar Singer, has been tracking "Are you there?" signs all over Earth. Various Muppet shenanigans lead to Gonzo going on television to declare himself an alien, at which point the Men in Black show up to take him and Rizzo into custody. The rest of the Muppet gang prepare for a rescue heist, complete with spy gadgetry provided by Bunsen and Honeydew. At the Totally Not the FBI headquarters, Edgar Totally Not Hoover sends Rizzo off to become a lab rat while he interrogates Gonzo. But when this doesn't work, he decides to have Gonzo's brain dissected. Waiting in his cell, Gonzo has a conversation with the aliens through a sandwich. He tells them to land at Cape Doom. Elsewhere in the building, Rizzo has met the cast of Ratshank Redemption, and they all bust out together and free Gonzo shortly before his brain is due to be extracted. Gonzo and Rizzo meet up with Kermit and the gang, who have come to rescue them, and they all head off to Cape Doom to meet the aliens. But they aren't alone. Edgar Totally Not Hoover's assistant overheard Gonzo's sandwich conversation, so they are also headed to the Cape. And Miss Piggy is trying to break into journalism and calls her cameraman for a scoop. He brings along a crowd of alien seekers. By the time the Muppets have arrived, the beach is full. Just when everyone has given up hope, the aliens arrive. And not only are they Gonzo's family, they are family. And they come in disco. Everyone is celebrating and having a good time, except Edgar Totally Not Hoover, who makes a fool of himself trying to shoot Gonzo with an empty gun. Luckily, the aliens are charmed by this, and they decide to make him an ambassador. They ask Gonzo to come home with them, but he chooses to stay with his found Muppet family instead. Later, at the Muppet house, Gonzo and his pals sit on the roof and watch the stars.
Yeah, I did not take enough drugs to prepare me for this movie.
It's an interesting one. I read a little bit about it, and it seems we could have had a really good movie because the original script written by Maranziano had a whole lot of parodies of like Contact and the various alien stuff. I'm sure there must have been an X-Files parody in there
Oh,
somewhere.
I'm sure.
But when they changed directors, the new one wanted to make it more real, and it, like, I guess, made it less Muppety. So we lost a lot of a lot of the parodies, and I think that
Muppets in our Muppets in Space movie? It's less likely than you think.
Like, why would you make it more real? So yeah, I think that the could have been movie probably would have been better.
I don't know if it was the pacing or what, but this felt like it could have been like an episode of a TV show because it just felt very, very quick. I mean, I know it was like an hour and change, but like still,
there was a lot of sitcom stuff.
Yeah,
it felt very like the Friends version of the Muppets are all living in a house together and various stuff happens. And
isn't the whole gimmick with the Muppets that they're like actors and like, you know, they make their own versions of like pre-existing stories? And I'm like, why do they all live in one janky looking house together? I'm like, I feel like Kermit at least should be like a millionaire and should own his own mansion or something.
I don't know, or the theater digs isn't usually like this. I don't know. It's kind of a cute idea, but Statler and Waldorf just hanging out in the living room, like that just doesn't. Yeah,
exactly.
we're asking the Muppets movie to make sense, but then like we've seen
Muppets Domesticate You.
We've seen other Muppet movies that were better. Like, you know, Muppet Christmas Carol is like an actually excellent film as well as being a Muppet movie. You know, and the first Muppet movie is mostly Muppet shenanigans with a, you know, thread through of going to Hollywood, but but I don't know, it's better.
It's short and sweet.
Yeah. And I think there's also with this one, there's sort of a parade of disgraced 90s actors.
Yeah, when they first showed the security guard, he had his hat pulled down, but I was like, the bottom half of his face looks so familiar, and then we turn around and I see those baby blues. I was like, is that fucking Ray Liotta?
It's better than
Henry Hill, Ray Liotta.
Do we have to see Rob Schneider? Like,
oh god.
and Jeffrey Tambor's like, yeah, this is definitely
Deputy
another
Dewey
time
from
period.
Scream, Kathy Griffin. What is this?
We have disgraced actors people on the right and disgraced people on the left.
And here you are stuck in the middle with me. Oh my god.
Oh dear. Yeah.
These movies are hornier than I expected too.
Yeah, that was weird.
Oh, Kermit, you are so soft and plump. I'm going to give you 2 seconds to take your hands off me, Prawn. Oh, sorry. I'm like, wait a minute, so he was okay with touching Kermit, though?
I don't know, this one was not so kind to Miss Piggy. I think.
Yeah. Just... the act of Miss Piggy being humbled by being forced to be an intern for a PA on a set. See, that was I was fine with, but the like weird thing of her like needing to we had a return to drugging people without their consent. We had some very Farscape aspects here because spraying with smelly drugs, with inhalant drugs without their consent. Something we got from Farscape. And there's no sign that ever wears off because like once they escape from the facility, Ray Liotta's still under the spell. Yeah. I'm like, is he still like that to this day? In that universe? I don't know.
I mean, okay, we should find some place to sort of start and kind of organize our thoughts. So let's talk about Gonzo, who I think had a very, very very much a John Crichton kind of ness to him.
Can I just say this whole journey for him, it's very queer coded.
Oh yeah. Like they're not just we are family, we are family. We are friends of Dorothy.
Oh my god. Yeah, I was getting strong non-binary, what the hell am I, baby non-binary egg vibes.
Yeah, I mean, there's even like there's a sort of coming out joke with after he does his speech on the news with Kermit's like, I've always had tendencies.
Exactly.
Gonzo comes out, but we always already knew.
It's like that closet was made out of glass, baby girl.
Yeah. Yeah. Then he's on a journey for family, and then he decides on found family. Like, this is the Muppets have always been queer.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's local theater, so it's always been queer.
Yeah. Queer, and there's always that one couch
mm,
that everyone is hooked up on.
yeah. So yeah, and this is Gonzo's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
It's not surprising because it's inspired by the song from the first Muppets movie with the I'm gonna go back there someday, which is just absolutely a delightful song about dreaming about being from a place. But the original plan also had that the aliens appeared to be like Gonzo because they were modeling themselves after Gonzo, and he was still a whatever. And I don't know what to think about Gonzo having. On the one hand, it's really lovely for Gonzo to have people. On the other hand, Gonzo is so special because he's his own whatever.
Yeah, because the aliens never said we are the Blamorgians from planet Nixnos or whatever. Like they never said what their species is. So Gonzo is still a whatever, which is good because he's special.
Or I figure they must be whateveroids.
Whateveroids, perfect.
Or Gonzarians.
Kermit didn't have a lot to do in this one, which is funny because he is like the main Muppet.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just kind of a Kermit and Gonzo friendship angle. Kermit was kind of being the Dargo.
Yeah, like he has that nice little like oh, you're not a whatever, you're distinct. I thought that was nice.
Yeah. And he's the whole thing about he decides to believe Gonzo even though they don't really believe Gonzo.
Yeah, it's like, I think our friend might be having a mental breakdown, but you know what? We're here for him. We support him.
Yeah, Kermit is Dargo.
Exactly.
And Gonzo is very, very Crichton, like a whole journey of I'm trying to find my people. I feel lonely being the only one.
Does that make Rizzo Aaron?
I think it does make Rizzo Aaron.
Yeah, Rizzo's our action girl.
So does that make the lab rats craze?
Oh god. Oh, the brain rot. The brain rot is real.
And then I think we know who is the Stark. I don't the Dr. Neuter.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I had to look up who was the voice actor for that because I was like, this Muppet looks exactly like Andy Dick. They should have had him voiced by Andy Dick too.
I think he's one of Brian Anson's creatures.
Yeah. But yeah, I just like whenever he popped up and be like, oh, there's the Andy Dick Muppet again.
Or is it that Andy Dick looks like a Muppet? Another problematic 90s celebrity. See, how come the ones from the 70s movie when we watch is still mostly rather pleasant to see? And these ones were really not.
Like, it's like everyone here is either canceled or dead.
Except for Andie MacDowell. I think she managed okay.
Yeah.
She's barely in the movie, but
what is Andie MacDowell up to these days?
She's gone to the farm upstate that all women over 40 go to in Hollywood. Yes. Until they can come back as grandmothers.
Yes.
Hollywood.
God damn it.
Yeah. So we've got Gonzo as our John, and Kermit as
our Dargo.
Kermit as Dargo, Rizzo as Aaron.
I guess that would. Yeah, Miss Piggy is definitely Chiana.
Miss Piggy is Chiana.
If she can't kiss, kick, or frow, like you always say.
Mm-hmm. And there was the fight scene with the guy was disturbingly horny.
Why? Why does he want to pork? Why does he want to pork the pig? Love is love. Love is love.
Yeah, this movie can't. It's like it's a kids movie, but some of the references are really dirty in ways I don't know. This is a strange one.
Like when Jeffrey Tambor puts on the glove and Rizzo says, "Wait a minute, I want to know where the final destination for that finger's going."
Oh yeah.
And then the nose job.
Yeah. It's like, not. It's not really the kind of thing that would necessarily appeal to the parents watching in this way that a lot of the tends to be the more adult jokes appeal to the parents, because it's more like teenage boy humor.
Yeah, which is not typically the Muppets' target audience.
Yeah, it's like, are kids supposed to be watching this with their older brother?
I gotta say, I feel a little bit lied to by the title. I was promised Muppets in Space, and we didn't get that. We got one dream sequence that didn't really happen.
The title is Muppets From Space.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case,
we did get Muppets. It's from truthful. Space. We got a whole gay disco Muppet from
yes.
Muppets from Space.
Planet gay disco whateveroid.
Yes. Although, why on earth they'd want to take Jeffrey Tambor and Mr. Not Hoover back with them? See, they call him K.
Edgar Singer.
And like, why wouldn't it be K. Edgar Dyson? Like, yeah. This is the thing with this movie that's so close to it's so close to what should be the joke, and then sometimes just isn't, because if you're gonna do a Hoover joke, then go for a different kind of vacuum. And then not just go sewing machines.
Yeah, and then he goes into a whole Captain Kirk spiel.
With the actual music.
Don't laugh at me. Was he channeling Shatner? Was that what he was doing?
I don't know. I really don't know what that was. Maybe it was Shatner. I mean, I hope that we'll have more like substantive discussions in some of these not actually Muppet sex and trauma, but this one, it's like
there's not a lot of sub in this tense.
There really isn't. Yeah, there's a lot of weird choices.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a great watch if you're on drugs.
Yeah, it's entertaining. It's very strangely reminiscent of the 90s, and yet I don't know, there's so many obvious, it could, like, where was the X-Files jokes?
Exactly.
And why did the Dawson's Creek people show up?
Right? I was like, Is that fucking Joey and Pacey?
Like, why wouldn't it be Buffy?
Right?
If you're gonna bring in random 90s people, why wouldn't it be something connected?
Yeah, or you know,
Space.
like I get you probably couldn't get Gillian Anderson, but like, you know, David Duchovny, I feel like he's always available. bring on Mulder.
Or the people from Third Rock from the Sun. Like, if you're going to go for a 90s show, why not something that's like in theme with space?
Yeah, get French Montana in here.
Why the random Dawson's Creek people playing their characters and being like, Dawson would like this?
Like, tell me you couldn't get James Vanderbeek to be in this dog without telling me.
And like things that are not going to make sense to kids at any other period. Like, where are the kids who are big Dawson's heads or their parents?
I don't want to wait for this movie to be over.
I think this script may have gotten like
butchered.
Yes, yeah, I think it may have gotten notes to death. Like, Hollywood executives too much in the pudding.
I think the only person here who wasn't taking the absolute piss was the guy who played the military general. He played this movie dead fucking serious, but it works because amidst all the crazy bullshit, like, he's like, I'm so tired of this. He should have been there at the end, like, you know, to like solidify Jeffrey Tambor and be like, oh, there are aliens. Whatever. I need a drink.
Just there in like his off-duty cruise wear or something.
Yeah, like he shows up in a Hawaiian shirt. He's got like a brewski in his hand. He's like, I need to quit drinking.
Yeah.
I love the thought of Gonzo getting kidnapped by this secret agent facility, and then they find out, like, proof positive he is in fact an extraterrestrial, and then after that they just don't bother him, and they have his home address. They're just like, oh, you're an alien? Cool. Well, the main guy who was after you is gone now, so
yep. We just decided he was crazy, and yep, we're just gonna,
even though there's like footage that this happened and like 300 eyewitnesses.
Miss Piggy got her scoop.
Yeah. All right, guys, pack it up. Let's go home.
Maybe the bear is in charge and he's just decided to leave everybody alone now.
Yeah. They should put a bear in charge of the government. Have you seen the TikTok thing? Would women trust bears over men in the woods?
Yeah, and I think if you put bear on the ballot, your country would have its first bear president.
Absolutely. There's a joke in there somewhere about leather.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it wouldn't be the first bear president.
I mean, you know, James Buchanan, just saying.
Abe certainly had that beard, and there have always been rumors.
But enough about the shit show that is American politics.
Again, had this been written by, this is one of those, this movie is very queer, but also insufficiently queer.
Yeah.
Because it's a queer allegory that feels very written by straight people.
Yeah. I don't even know if they meant to write a queer allegory, to be honest. But that's what it happened to be.
I think there's some intention there, possibly mixed.
They don't beat you over the head with it like they do with the X-Men. Have you tried not being a mutant? Have you tried not being an extraterrestrial?
No, but the I've always had tendencies felt very
I know.
Very 90s sitcom treatment of gay people. Yeah,
Gonzo's an alien. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm surprised they didn't make that line. I don't know if that was if Seinfeld had come up with that yet.
But the soundtrack worked. The soundtrack was definitely there was someone queer working somewhere in the
Yeah,
soundtrack
I was gonna
because
say, like, what's with the
funk and
disco
disco and
funk
yeah,
Motown soul train
needs a
vibes,
brick house.
which is a very like which is a very horny
Horny.
song to put at the beginning of your Muppets movie.
Like it's about the house. Sure, it's about the
Yeah,
house.
like why don't we just play friggin' Freak a Leak by Petey Pablo while we're at it? Uh
Yeah. It's a very literal interpretation for a lot of the soundtrack choices. Like, I can't remember what it is when he's driving the lawnmower, but it's something along the lines of traveling, driving something. and,
yeah, I'm
and
surprised like when the spaceship landed they didn't play "Is a Star Man Waiting in the Sky."
no, we got what is it? You're a shooting star.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got that one. And celebrate times. Come on.
Totally not gay song, come on. I might as well play Diana Ross's
We
I'm Coming
are
Out.
family. Yeah. Yes. That it was missing. I am what I am.
Can we make Muppets from Space gayer? We're sure as hell gonna try.
Yeah. I think it would have been better if it was gayer.
Yeah.
Just yeah. I don't know, because there are seeds of a good movie here, but there's also like way too many problematic '90s people, and
Yeah, like the Jamaican space fish.
I thought they were Indian.
Oh yeah, they were Indian. I
different
guess I'm thinking of
different
Sebastian from
racist accents.
I'm thinking of Sebastian from Little Mermaid, I guess.
Well, there's Pepe the King Prawn.
He's
Is our
I thought he was Cajun, Creole.
is he okay? Is definitely an accent that is not.
I'm just a hop, skip, and a jump away from Louisiana. So
I will take your word for it.
yeah, but like even the cover of the movie is like Gonzo in this like glittery disco cape and boots, coat, like drag Captain Hook looking ensemble. And he's like in a beam of light and he's glittering for all the world to see.
And the Gonzarians or the whateveroids were definitely
Absolutely.
absolutely fabulous.
I was like, that's not the king, that's the queen.
Yes. Yeah. And yet, I don't know, it didn't quite come together as something
Yeah, it was
great.
a little bit of a hot mess, which I mean, a hot mess can be occasionally fun.
Yes.
I think like I said, I think it's a pacing thing. Because it's like the jokes don't have time to land almost.
Yeah, and I think more parodies would have been better. And I think you need to figure out what the age humor you're actually going for,
Yeah.
because there's a little too many of the wrong kind of blue jokes.
Yeah.
Like
Like
not only the Animal and Kathy Griffiths thing that was
yeah.
just weird, but the thing when Rizzo first shows up in prison and the guy's like, "Hi, I'm Bubba."
They're acting like it's gonna be a one of those scenes and it's like what?
Yeah, before it takes a hard turn to Shawshank Redemption, and the Shawshank Redemption bits were funny, and probably would have been watched by the parents of these kids, and the kids aren't going to get the joke why it's behind the Mice Girls posters
Mice girls.
and why there's a bird man, which that one got me, the bird guy with this pigeon. that is the size of him.
Uh,
Although they take that to a weird sex joke. It's like, as
yeah.
much as I like weird sex jokes, because remember I host a podcast on Farscape. You gotta love the weird sex jokes. It's like, but you gotta pitch the weird sex jokes
Yeah.
right.
But Farscape, that has the audience for that.
Yeah.
Whereas this is a Muppets movie.
Yeah, and like again, these jokes sort of seem to go for more like a 12-year-old rather than
Yeah, like these are jokes that I would expect in like a Deadpool movie.
yes. Well, although Deadpool would have taken that to 11 and this was like at a 2.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We would have seen scrotum. Muppet scrotum. Can I just say, by the way, it's like really upsetting and uncanny valley for me, like seeing Muppet legs. We see Miss Piggy's legs, we see Rizzo's lower half. I'm like, what?
Yeah, there is something a bit odd, especially when they do it by special effects instead of like just the mirrors thing.
Yeah.
Um, because the mirror one is kind of charmingly silly. Like Kermit's frog legs in the first one is funny, but also there's a whole joke about frog legs, so you have to see his legs.
Yeah. When Miss Piggy was standing there, I was like, I don't know how to feel about this.
I don't know. Do we have anything else much else to say about um this this movie?
I I don't know that there is much to say. It's just kind of a thing.
It is. It's just kind of a thing that was.
It's like you sit down, you watch it, you go, well, I've seen that now.
Apart from having fun with the soundtrack, I've had some of the songs in my head for a couple days now.
Yeah. It's catchy. It's very 90s.
Yeah, using the soundtrack from the 70s.
I still don't know how they got Ray Liotta in this.
I know the Muppets seem to be are extremely good at getting cameos
Yeah.
from.
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, I forgot about
That I
that
can
one.
buy. I mean, that man is the word gimmick in human form. And Kathy Griffin, I can get. And even Rob Schneider, I wish he wasn't here, but I can get it.
Yeah, this movie would be 10% better if Rob Schneider was not in it. Why does it make me look at Rob Schneider's face?
Yeah. But like Andy McDowell and Ray Liotta seem like really out of place. Jeffrey Tambor, he's like a toss-up.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's almost like the movie screeches to a halt when he shows up.
Yeah, and it probably would be better if he wasn't a sex pest.
Yeah. The world would be a lot better if he wasn't a sex pest.
That's this is the thing about watching movies from the 90s is sometimes you get the yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Like you said, like I said earlier, it's like you watch something old and you're like, everyone in this movie is either dead or canceled.
yep. So any other parallels to Farscape?
Um, besides the horniness and the space aspect, and the I guess dealing with being out of place. Not really.
I do like the theme of being the one who's out of place trying to find your home and then you find your people and then realizing all along that you've had your people and your place in your weird friends. It's very queer, found family, and it's very Farscape. And I think the best part of that was actually captured in the first scene in the dream that he has.
Yeah, that's a great opening sequence.
Yeah.
Well, I'm the only one.
Yeah. And there is something to the feeling of being the one and only. Um Yeah, that I think Gonzo captures really well, which is why all of us weirdos love Gonzo. Because we're all
Exactly.
whatevers too.
Exactly. And that's why I love the resolution. It's like, nah, I'm gonna stick with my own little band of weirdos where I'm loved and I fit in perfectly
Yeah.
because nobody really fits in here. And that's very Farscapian.
It is. It's very Farscapian. It's very sci-fi, and it's very Muppets. We're all weirdos together. So,
So anyway, Sara,
anyway.
where can we find you?
You can find me on the Fat Culture Critic on YouTube. You can find me on the place that I continue to call Twitter. Or on Blue Sky, you can find Muppet Sex and Drama at patreon.com/Muppet Sex and Drama. And Ren, where can people find you?
Well, I haven't been around much lately, but you can find me on YouTube, Twitter, because I do believe in dead naming, but only in the case of Twitter, Blue Sky, TikTok, Instagram, and Tumblr, as Ren the Barbarian. And I make, or when I do make content, I talk about Star Trek and other pop culture, from a queer feminist leftist bent, and it's although I will admit it's probably 70% taking the piss, but yeah, if you're interested in that sort of content, come and find me.
Yeah, take the piss with love.
Yes, you can't really take the piss on something
This is
if you don't love it.
this becomes
We
very
pee
weird
on
of
the
you.
things that we love. And I'll never and Sara will never invite me back.
Oh, and this is a filler episode, so I have no idea where it'll go in the run. But yeah, you join us for join Josh and I and our rotating chair of guests to for more Farscape. And let us know what you would want us to talk about in these filler episodes. It might be weird, or profound, or some combination of both. Something that has some connection to Farscape, thematically or character wise or actor wise. And yeah, I'll do a few more of these with folks to fill in some gaps, as we're going to need some coming up. And so the message for today is we are all weirdos together. We are all whatevers.
And that's enough.
And we are family. Get up, everybody.
I got all my non-binary Muppets with me.
See you later, folks.
See you, Space Cowboy. I can't believe Kathy. Oh, sorry. I can't believe Kathy Griffin porked a Muppet. I mean, I kind of can, but like, because it's Kathy Griffin, but it's more that I'm in disbelief that Animal porked her. I would think he would have better taste.
I don't know. That is just. She did try to get it on with the with Mariska Hargitay and Law and Order SVU at one point.